Okay, while I'm waiting for one of my phones to do some work for me, let me do something else. Two things at once. So I want to start talking about my trip to Italy, actually Cassino, Italy, where my ancestors are from in Italy. Well, I got to say, my side of the family, because um, I'm saying that his grandfather was my biological father. So he is my only Italian relative on that level. Um, okay, my grandparents would have been his parents. Now, he was considered my grandfather, so I didn't plan to even talk about this, but since I'm into it, let me go with it. His parents were, their names were Antonio Miele, and his mother's name was, I'm not sure now because I got stage fright. Wait a minute. I got it right here, right now. I wrote this out for Italian citizenship, so it's written down here, right here. Okay. Okay, so let me refresh my mind. I would have got this right, but okay, I'm looking at the information I have here. His mother's name was Carolina Chicante Miele. Okay, so her maiden name must have been Chicante. Does that mean giant? I'd have to look it up. At any rate, it may not. It looks like it means giant, but it may not. Okay, so my Italian relative. I'm not related to America's Man of the Year's mother. Thank God, because she was a witch. Okay, I got a chance to say it now. Finally, woman was a witch, and so was her daughter, a witch. Okay, and those relatives, oh, keep them far away from me, man. And they feel that way about me. I feel the same way. Keep them away. Okay, now. Okay, my own siblings, keep them away too. I don't want anything to do with it. Now, I'm trying to talk about the Italian side of my family, which is it starts with my grandfather, who was actually my father. So I've never thought about this before now, because now I've always thought that I was related to those witches up there, and thank God I'm not. So, I don't know what the point I wanted to make. I went to Cassino, where my grandfather is from, because I was gonna live there and become an Italian citizen by submitting my documents to the court there in Cassino as a way of expediting my citizenship, because it was taking so long that the lawyer I was talking to over there, the lawyer I had working for me over there in Italy, he said, well, yeah, if you come over here and you actually go to this court in Cassino, you might be able to hurry things up. So I was going to do that. And I went to Cassino, and here's what I was thinking about that motivated me to pick up the phone. I'm watching this other phone, see if it gets the work done I've got it's doing, because if it does, I can move on. Now, here's what I want to say. I went to Italy. It wasn't in the past year. That would have been 2024. It must have been 2023 fall. And here's what I was thinking about. I arrived there, got off the plane in the airport there it's the most popular one for the more inexpensive flights. And I don't remember the name now, but you got to take a train to Rome first, and you go from Rome to wherever you want to go, pretty much. So I didn't have anything said ahead of time. Zero. I can speak a kind of off the boat Italian. I'm fluent as much as that goes. All from books. Nobody in my family could speak Italian except for my father, who I saw a few hours a day once a year while growing up. And he never said a word. He never said a word. I've got recordings about that. So, no, I didn't learn Italian at home. No Italian at home. And I didn't know any Italians. I've said this before. Where we lived in Bethesda, Maryland, a suburb of Washington, D.C., the minority there that was most numerous were Jews. Okay, so there were so many Jews in the area where I lived, you could say I lived in a Jewish neighborhood. Okay, now there were no Italians at all. I was the only Italian that I knew of. I didn't know of any others. And I thought I was Italian, but I learned more about my identity as I grew older. I found eventually that I'm descended from Italian Jews. Now, I don't want to go into that. What I want to say is that I arrived in Italy at this airport, and then I took the train from that airport to Rome, and then I found out what I needed to do to get to Cassino. I had to make 3 changes. This lady told me, where I was asking her, in Italian, right? And she told me I had to make 3 changes. Well, I assumed there were 3 train changes, but one of those changes was to a bus. So I didn't understand that when I was talking in Italian to her. She might not have said that, but she might have, she might not have. I don't remember saying bus. She said, you got 3 change 3 times. Here, these are the 3. She wrote them down on a piece of paper, these 3, or I wrote them down. And I went and I found the train, first train, and then I got to the second link of that 3-direction trek I was supposed to make, and I saw there was a bus there when the train was arriving. I thought, I wonder if it was a bus, but no, she didn't say bus. So I start walking all over looking for a train, and I find out no. After like an hour of meandering around, that I was supposed to take a bus. Now I missed that bus, and I got to wait like 6 hours for the next one. So, well, I eventually got there, and well, what I want to say is I arrived in Italy, and I got to say, here's what I want to talk about. Let me state the facts. I did not eat, drink, or go to the bathroom for the next 14 hours until I arrived in Cassino. It took me that long. It took me 14 hours to go from, I never realized that till now. Yeah, it took me 14 hours from the time I arrived at the airport there to get to Cassino, and I got to Cassino in 14 hours. And, well, that's when I went to the bathroom and got myself something to drink, and I didn't give myself something to eat until I found my hotel, and it took a couple of hours. But anyway, why did I do that? Why did I not eat, drink, or go to the bathroom for 14 hours? I'm talking about even urinate. I didn't urinate for 14 hours, and usually I got to urinate frequently. Okay? But I didn't even urinate for 14 hours. Now, I didn't need to. Yes, I did. I felt the need to, and I was hungry, yeah, but I did not eat or urinate. I did not go to the bathroom. I did not do those things. I did not even drink anything for 14 hours. Now, why did I do that? Well, I have not come to any conclusions. I originally thought that I just did not feel safe enough to do that when I was over there. I arrived there, and the kind of things I was seeing upon my arrival were making me uneasy, let's say, making me not feel safe, not feel to do anything like that I like to do, please myself in no way. I didn't feel safe. So, why? Well, here's a little fact that might get some of the viewers of this video to understand why without me having to say much more. Okay? I arrive at casino finally. It's late in the day. It's evening time on a Sunday. And everything's closed down in that city, I discover, on a Sunday. It's a small town in Italy. Well, I asked, after walking around that train station a little, looking for a bathroom. I wasn't finding one, so I went up and asked one of the ticket people. There were two in the station, it was a small station. Two people working at the ticket desk. One little station behind some bars like in a jail, and another one. That's what I recall, man. They said, we have no such thing. Well, I kind of remember that. And the other one, the same thing. Now, the lady told me, well, you go out the door. It was quite a big station, by the way. A very big station, and, a small town, and nobody in the station. So she said, you go out this door, walk down there, and then down around the corner at the end of the building, and there are the bathrooms down there. So I walked down there. It's been 14 hours. I had to go really bad. And I walk and I find the bathrooms. Now, there's nobody there. The station is deserted, okay? There's not a soul around anywhere, and not anything can be heard. So I'm not going to tell all the weird things that happened. Well, maybe I should. No, I won't. But what I did was, one of the things I did was, I was looking, first of all, because I don't want to be overly critical, but the bathrooms were very primitive in terms of where you're going to go to the bathroom. Very primitive and small. The stalls were like this wide, enough to get me in there, and that's about it. No room on either side. And there were, as I recall, 3, okay? Now, one of the first things I did was to see if there was running water so I could wash my hands afterward, all right? And was there any soap? And then I was looking to make sure, is there any toilet paper, this kind of thing. I was checking on that before I went in there, because I don't think there was any toilet paper there. So, as I did that, and then I thought, well, I came out of there. I said, I wonder I looked to my left, and I saw they had one of those fences, like 5 or 6 foot tall wooden fences. I thought, I wonder what's beyond that fence. So I walked down to the end, and I opened the fence. And what did I see? There's a police station right there. A police station, like there's a small street, and right across the street, Polizia. Okay, a police station. So I said, oh my God. So then I looked down, right across from me is a police station, and looking down the lane there is whatever's down there. So I close the gate and I go back to the bathroom. Now, I was in there quite a long time, because I was in there a long time, and there was no noises at all. It was completely silent. Okay. And I got done finally. Well, let me say what happened. For those of you who can stomach this, I had to go number 2 real bad. Okay, and so there was no place to sit down on this toilet, really. Okay, it was just no place to sit down. So I got over the toilet. Okay, and well, when I did my number 2, I missed the toilet. Okay, so I created a mess. And so then I thought, my God, there's no paper or anything. There's no toilet paper. There's no paper towels to clean this up. And I said, I just can't leave this here. What about some guy is going to come clean up those bathrooms and he sees this mess? It was really like diarrhea, okay? It was not like something easy to clean up. So I know it's hard to stomach for you folks, but this is an experience. Listen up. So what I did was I took off my underwear, okay? And I mopped up the mess that I'd made with the underwear until it was cleaned, okay? And then I figured, well, I got to get rid of this underwear. I can't throw it down the toilet. There's no trash can. So now it's another dilemma. I got this underwear, and I'm going to come walking out of that bathroom. You never know, much somebody might come on me, right, and see me with that. So I'm very careful. And I finally, there's a trash can. I find one. So I take the underpants over there and I throw them in the trash, okay? I've cleaned up this mess because I figured, I can't just leave this. This would be terrible if you worked here and come in and see a mess like that, you know. So I cleaned it up as best I could. You know, I didn't have any soap to clean up. I cleaned it up as good as I could, and it looked clean, you know. So I'd taken a long time with all this, okay. And so I was thinking, well, there was a middle door, the 3 doors. I thought might be. I know there are 3 bathrooms now, but at the time, I thought, well, I didn't see a handle on the middle one. So I thought, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, man, maybe there's a paper towels and cleaner and soap and everything in there. So I go to the thing and I pull it open like that, and there's a man sitting in there. He hasn't made a sound. I've been there at least a half an hour. Okay, doing all these things, worrying, cleaning up, coming in and out, going this way. I can find the police station, come back. It's not like a homeless man or anything. No. Okay. And the man is like this. His eyes are like this, like, God, what's going to happen to him? He wasn't that big. And he was shocked that I'd opened up that door. So was I. My God. I said, oh, I'm sorry. And I shut the door. Well, okay, you folks, I've been saying I've been being followed for 10 years everywhere I go. So you make up your own minds on that. So I'm saying I wasn't feeling safe in Italy upon arrival. And I didn't eat, drink, or go to the bathroom for 14 hours till I got to Cassino. And that's what I found there. Now, here's one other thing about the number 14. I believe that America's Man of the Year started to prey on me sexually when I was 14. Now, that didn't occur. What do you call that? That association between the 14 hours, me being 14, did not occur to me till just now. I have not thought about that. And I've talked about this experience before in videos. It did not occur to me till now that the 14 hours is associatively connected with the age 14 and the Italian man who was preying on me, supposed to be my father, was not my father. And my belief is that he was preying. He felt that he had a license to prey on me that way because I was not his son and I was in his house. My mother had deceived him by having me by another man. Why? Because he was a abusive, cowardly liar and braggart and bully. So, seeking refuge from the treatment that he started to direct her way after he got into medical school, through her help. She decided, look, I didn't bargain on him being this way, and so she had me by another man. That's my theory. So you have 14. Bye for now.